Rusty Amer has 60 years of flying experience, and he joins me now live. Good to have you. We leaned on you yesterday ahead of today's actual reductions. I asked you, is it safe to travel? You confidently said, yes, safety is not an issue right now. What makes you so sure?
Well, I trust my fellow pilots, flight attendants, airline workers, and the air traffic controllers, because even though they're almost in an emergency situation, they are at their best game. They know that they have to be on their best game. And worst case scenario, if a pilot realizes that it's not safe, believe me, they will cancel first before the government does.
Okay, so speaking from your decades of experience, you are confident safety is not an issue. I know that helps put a lot of people's anxiety at ease. I'm wondering, when is the last time we've dealt with something like this? Is there precedence?
Well, we did in the last government shutdown, if you remember, several years ago. But this kind of reminds us of when there's a IT or weather meltdown. If you remember, not too long ago, a couple of airlines, Southwest reminds me of that. We just have the picture going by, where they had an IT meltdown, and there were a lot of flights canceled. Not to this point. Right now, we're at 4% level, which is nominal. But if this thing snowballs and we have to cancel more and more, I hope that they reopen the government before Thanksgiving, because now by Thanksgiving, not only you have the problems with these delayed flights and canceled flights, we may have weather issues in the Northeast, you know, and Southeast.
As a reporter just reported, and you just alluded to, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says if the shutdown stretches beyond next week, he'll likely call for a 20% reduction. What would that look like?
That'll be very ugly. In fact, what would you think if it might get to 100% shutdown by the Christmas holidays if this continues? Hopefully we won't get there, but we have to be prepared for it.
How do you prepare for it? Well,
you don't fly. That's and I hate to say that. It's a shame to say something like that in the United States of America. But I tell my friends, my kids, one of my kids is flying tomorrow, in fact. I told them, just make sure you pack a lot of patience with you and be kind to everybody. You know, those TSA folks, they're showing up at work. They probably don't have enough money to fill up their gas tank or eat something properly. Controllers are now not only calling sick, I've heard some of them are actually quitting the job. This is one of the most demanding and stressful jobs in the world. And if we lose these fellas, you know, we're several steps backwards.
Well, let me just ask you a follow-up then. We have about 30 seconds left. Noting that they're under severe stress more than ever, that again gets me back to the safety issue. If you are under that amount of stress and you are under the microscope, doesn't that increase your chances of making a mistake?
Yes, it would. It would in a case of, but you know, we have electronics that kind of help the flight controllers, ATC controllers, and then ultimately the pilots, the ultimate safety device in a cockpit. So I'm hoping that this will not get into a safety, but you're absolutely right. When the controller has to worry about his car payment, his house payment, that's not a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely not. Okay, well, you know, there is some scuttlebutt in Washington that they are nearing the end, so let's hope that that does happen for the sake of citizens across the nation as we head into the holidays. All right, I'm sure we're going to lean on you again, Captain Ross Amer. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
My pleasure.
All right.